We begin today with Formula One as we talk to 3 times world champion Max Verstappen.
As Max Verstappen turns 27, it's staggering to think that he's already started more than 200 Grand Prix, finishing on the podium in more than half of them.
My 10th season already. I mean, it goes very fast, to be honest. Doesn't feel like that. Winning 60 Grand Prix, yeah, something that I never thought was possible. I've had a lot of fun, I would say. Of course, you have a lot of good moments, a few bad moments. I think that's normal in a career. But so far, yeah, we had a great start to the year, naturally. Only the last few races have been a little bit more difficult, but that's also part of racing.
Oracle Red Bull Racing had already predicted a tightening up of the field, but after last year's utter dominance, it has still been a sea change.
I knew, of course, throughout the year that the competition was going to come closer. I just didn't expect how it would progress. And especially from our side also, I think we've had some difficulties that we are still trying to understand. In a way, of course, it's now, I would say, quite a bit different to last year.
Verstappen did win 4 of the opening 5 races, but it didn't feel like a cruise to a 4th world title, as the challenge came not just from Ferrari or Mercedes, but a resurgent McLaren.
I expected them straight away, to be a rival in the first race, and for whatever reason they weren't. And then, from Miami onwards, basically, they have been very, very strong. I think it's always nice when there are battles in Formula One. Of course, when only one team or whatever is dominating, it gets a bit boring. Even though, of course, from our side, we are just doing the best we can and we're trying to optimize every performance. And of course, the more teams that are battling at the front, the more exciting it gets.
In a season where there have been 7 different winners, it's Lando Norris who leads the charge to catch Verstappen, and it's created a new dynamic for the pair. Friends off the track, but rivals on it.
Lando and I, of course, go back quite a long time, even though we never really raced against each other because I think we're 2 years apart from each other. And now, basically, this is the first year where we really can battle it out. And of course, we are friends, so we were not very happy, of course, with Austria at the end result of that. But I think as friends, you sleep over it, you speak to each other, and these kind of things, they can be solved quite quickly. At the end of the day, we are racing drivers, we want to race, and as hard as we can against each other, because we know that we are in a championship battle, that's how it is. But in a way, I find that also, really exciting when you can fight against your friends and push it to the limit.
With 6 races remaining, Max holds a 52-point advantage in the drivers' standings. But as the chasing pack chip away at his lead, the team searches for performance ahead of the championship run-in in the Americas and the Middle East.
I get why people are excited. Of course, on my side, it's been a bit difficult, the last few races, but I also know that every time that I sit in the car, I will give it everything I have. We don't panic. We just try to find solutions, and we'll just go from there. We try to be as competitive as we can be. Of course, they are closing in, in terms of points in the championship, but I just live in the moment. I try to optimize performances, and we'll see where we end up after Abu Dhabi.
The Porsche Carrera Cup North America is now in its 4th year. A key initiative within the series is the Porsche Female Driver Development Programme.
I'm really proud to represent females on the grid this year. For me, my goal in motorsport is to end up in a situation where we don't even have to talk about females being on the grid. It's 50-50 and it's just something that is normal for the sport. So to have Mobil support this program and have Porsche support this program, it's just creating steps towards that situation.
The Porsche Female Driver Development Program has been instrumental in making sure that I can be on the grid here in Porsche Carrera Cup. Without Porsche's support, I would not be here on the grid today. They keep adding new things to it every year, so it's been an awesome evolution to see.
New Zealander Madeline Stewart has stepped up from the Porsche Sprint Challenge to join US driver Sabré Cook on the Carrera Cup grid this year.
The close racing in Carrera Cup is incredible. I love that you can be a bit more rubbing a little within reason, right, than you can in a Formula car. So it's pretty incredible, and learning how to use the ABS in a race situation has been a new learning thing for me last year. So it's been really awesome, and all the guys are usually pretty respectful and giving you space, and it's pretty amazing, I think, what we can do at such high speeds and being so close to each other, so it's a ton of fun.
In Sprint Challenge last year, I did race in 992, but obviously all of these tracks in the US were new to me last year. I was really grateful to have this Sprint Challenge program to have a year of development, getting to know my team, learning the new tracks and the new car. And I feel like it really set me up for a strong campaign for Carrera Cup this year. But as long as I'm continuing to progress and learning more and more, then I think that will be a goal achieved this year.
It's great to see Madeline stepping up from Sprint Challenge. It's been great to see her progression and get her over here racing in the US. So I'm very excited that we're doing this together and get to take it to the boys as a team.
I actually used to really look up to Sabré when I raced a go-kart. She's a great role model for females in the sport, so I'm very lucky to race alongside her this year.
With the Carrera Cup as a launch pad, both women are hoping to move up in the sports car categories in the future, whilst taking any preconceptions in their stride.
Working as a woman in motorsports, there are going to be things that I have to deal with that a lot of other people don't experience, but honestly, it's all I've ever known from a pretty young age, so everybody has challenges no matter what job they're in, but the main thing to focus on is how do I adapt, how do I get the best out of myself in the job that I'm doing, and that's really all I try to focus on.
When I first meet people, especially being a Kiwi in the US, recently I've had a lot of people ask why I'm here, and I generally just say for work until they ask me to elaborate, and when I say I race cars, it's never what anyone expects me to say. So it's very cool, I'm very privileged to get to do this, and I love it so much. I feel very lucky every day.
With 16 races that began at Sebring in March, take them through to the Circuit of the Americas in mid-October, Cook and Stewart are taking on an extremely competitive field, but with a determination to succeed.
I would say to girls or anybody that's interested in motorsports is just be ready to make it your lifestyle. It's not just kind of a hobby or 9 to 5, long hours, but if you stick to it and you really build a good team around you, you can have a very long career in it. But the most important thing is to remember to believe in yourself and lean on the resources that you have access to.
The focus is around being a good racing driver. I think as long as you turn up to the track with a goal of winning, it's not about being the first girl, it's not about that, it's about winning the race. And I think as long as you work hard and focus on that and continue to develop all the time, then yeah, go for it.
20-year-old New Zealander Ryan Wood is a rookie on the rise in Australian Supercars this season, having stepped up to the main game series at the wheel of the number 2 Walkinshaw Andretti United Ford Mustang.
It's been a huge step forward going into main game and having all these names around you like Waters, Mostert as my teammate. It's been unreal, and obviously had to grow up pretty quickly in Super 2 and realise what I was getting myself into, and lucky enough I was provided with the package that I could go and win races and get poles and, you know, really put my name on the map.
5 race wins with WAU in the Super 2 feeder series saw team boss Bruce Stewart offer the young Kiwi his big break in the Supercar squad alongside Chaz Mostert.
I was here in Sydney. I got a message from Bruce and was kind of here at the ride day, and Brucey and Carl pulled me to the side and said, we're going to take you into main game and ride the highs and lows of the main game challenge as a rookie together, and that was one of the most special moments of my career.
It's really exciting because both on and off track, he is the package for us and he is the future for us. He will accompany Chaz and drive this team forward to win championships. In that respect, he brings a lot of personality and he's almost as strong as Chaz off track, but on track he fights. He has a grit and determination I've never seen in a rookie.
As a rookie you get raced pretty hard, but no, just really make sure that I can't get pushed around and try and make every position or every moment as hard as it possibly can be. I think what I've realised in this championship and main game itself is every position sort of matters. Moving forward is just more about picking and choosing the battles that I want to win, and that just comes with a bit of experience. But at the moment I feel like I'm pretty fair. I've punted a few people off, but not too many so far.
One of 3 rookies on the grid, Wood has learned fast, impressing early with a great drive at Taupo, New Zealand, as well as topping the timesheets in practice for the Sydney night race.
It's been pretty amazing, to be honest. Taupo was a round that I really started to find my feet, and I think it was a bit of the home crowd and everything like that, but to make my top 10 shootout debuts there, a P4 in the wet race, nearly a podium, like it was just amazing. That's the thing, I think I've just kept building and building, and towards the back half of this year, I think a podium's possible for us as a team. I think Chazzy's able to win some more races as well. I'd like to stand up there with him. I think that would be a special moment for us. I always talk about my Kiwi heroes, but an idol off track was always Chaz and what he did for everyone, and no matter what, he always had a smile on his face. He's very honest and open, and it's something as a teammate when you're young that you need, and even off track he's been a huge help.
Like his Aussie teammate, the New Zealander races with a smile and is pushing hard for the Mike Cable Young Gun Rookie of the Year award that Mostert himself won in 2011.
Moving forward, want to win some races, and it's always easy to say to win a championship, but I know how hard it is. I just want to make sure that every time I jump in the race car I can be Ryan Wood, not anyone else, and really enjoy my racing. That's the biggest thing. I know if I'm walking out of this transporter with a smile on my face about to put my helmet on and do 88 laps, I know I'm going to enjoy every lap of it.
Time now to ride with one of Spain's most celebrated motorsport stars. 31 victories and 112 podiums made Dani Pedrosa one of the greatest MotoGP riders of his generation. Recently, the Spanish ace has been turning back the clock and getting his knee down once again with wildcard rides for KTM Factory Racing.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, after so many years, to have the opportunity to come back and enjoy it in a different way, in a much more deeper way. Initially, when I was racing, I felt it, of course, very important because I was on the peak of my career, but you have so much pressure that you don't experience with the same love. Now to come back and race again is a much different experience, more beautiful.
Wildcard rides, especially at the Cathedral of Motorcycle in Jerez, have brought back some great memories.
I remember very well all the races that I did because I love this track and the atmosphere. Of course, when I won here my first race in 250, it was an amazing feeling, and my first ever win in MotoGP here as well, because when you are the man on that day in this track, it feels very, very nice.
Pedrosa never won the MotoGP crown, but the popularity of the Catalan rider helped build an incredible passion for motorcycling in Spain that continues today.
I have to give all credit to all our previous riders because they built up this kind of passion for motorcycles a long time ago, and current riders now just benefit from this, and they keep on making it grow because we have many young riders who are extremely fast. So to be part of that, it just feels very good.
The 39-year-old still enjoys the adoration of Spanish fans, and in his development role with the team has had an important part to play as KTM build for the future.
I really like that feeling to be part of the team, to have something that can be useful for the future, and that's where our strategy also plays a big role. Everything that we do, we exchange with the current riders and with the team that is racing the whole championship, and I'm really enjoying it. I always like the development and to feel you are creating something better, bigger, and since I joined KTM, we just have been going up and up, and that is a great feeling also.
The journey up the motorsport ladder often begins with karting, and Klara Kowalczyk is one of the fastest females on the track. Just 13 years old, the Polish driver with Ricky Flynn Motorsport is aiming for the very top.
I got into motorsport because my parents like to show me interesting things, and my dad's friend made an electric go-kart. Basically, I went to see it, and then I sat in it, and I drove with my dad, and I was like, I want to learn to drive. So it was just instant love, and then it just continued on.
Competing this year in the European and World Championships, as well as the Champions of the Future Series, the Polish rising star has a deep passion for racing, and it's inspired by F1's finest.
I really like Max Verstappen because he's the best, obviously. I think he also focuses on the driving part and not only on the social media part, so one of the few drivers that does that. And then I also like Lando Norris I think about racing is the speed, the fight, and obviously the adrenaline. I think I love it, and I love how it feels when you're driving, just the emotions and stuff.
Klara from the beginning liked the speed, and she was quite fast. We could see that. We've asked Natalia Kowalska, who raced in Formula 2, to watch her, and when she arrived to the track, there was this wow effect. She said, wow, this girl is really fast, I want her in my team. This was the moment when we realized that Klara has the talent.
I love adrenaline. I was a high diver before. I had to leave it behind because of karting. I love kite surfing. I love stuff like that, and that's why I like karting.
In Ricky Flynn Motorsport, Klara is supported by a team famous for training F1 drivers like Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. But like previous years, international karting is packed with potential stars, boys or girls, and they're fighting for every place.
Driving at that high level, an FIA, European Championship and World Championship, is pretty exciting, and there are a lot of good drivers. Everyone is competitive and everyone wants to win, so it's quite hard, but you have to fight. Talking about boys, I think it's nice to show that you can beat them, and then obviously when you beat people, you're happy because you want to be the best one.
Next in Klara's sights is F1 Academy, the FIA's F4-based series designed to help female drivers progress through the formulas and ultimately reach Formula 1.
Right now, she is getting prepared for single-seaters, so of course we plan that Klara will go to Formula 4 or F1 Academy as one of the fastest girls around the world, and in this season, highest ranked girl in Europeans, I think she can quite easily get there.
Obviously, F1 Academy is racing for girls that they can compete in. I think it would be nice to be there because each season you have to go up, so that fits the journey perfectly. So that's still in 3.5 years. So I still have to be older to get there, and obviously I don't know how things will look when the time comes. But I drove simulators this year, and probably in the near future we will test on the track. But I'm still very young, I'm still 13, so I still have a lot of time.
An appearance on national television and receiving a prestigious SHIO award has already brought exposure for the Polish youngster. And in November, she'll appear for her country in the FIA Motorsport Games.
Obviously, I'm excited about 2024 Motorsport Games and just to have one more race. So I think that's nice, extra minutes in the kart. And then obviously until the end of the season I will test and just prepare for the next season also.
With a clear pathway available and more women than ever competing at the top levels of motorsport, the race is on to find the first woman to compete in Formula 1 this century.
I think that for now it would be important for at least one woman to get to F1 so that she can open like the journey for the girls and show them that they can also get there. My dream is just to get to Formula 1 and be a good driver, just to make maybe some history and to be a world champion, obviously.
Australian ace Matt Campbell drives the number 5 Porsche hypercar in the World Endurance Championship after spending the first year of the 963 era racing in North America.
I spent the last few years in IMSA, so really enjoyed that style of racing, but I did WEC for 5 seasons, so no championship well. So it was easy to transition back from the IMSA championship and slot in and join the number 5 crew. Coming back to WEC, being able to compete at Le Mans this year for the first time in an overall intention car was exciting and obviously enjoying the experience so far.
Despite the switch to the WEC, Campbell did get to race in the IMSA season opener at Daytona, where he helped make history for Porsche Penske Motorsport.
Phenomenal to get the first ever really big victory of the 963, first race of the year, one of the biggest races of the US calendar, and being able to win the 24-hour Daytona is phenomenal. Start a year off so strong, it always puts you in a good step, and I think you really saw the performances after Daytona as well, always fighting for the victories and pole positions and everything like that.
The 29-year-old Queenslander built his international reputation in GTs with Dempsey Proton, winning multiple WEC races, including Le Mans, and then in IMSA with WeatherTech Racing and Pfaff Motorsports. But it was his success in Carrera Cup Australia that first caught Porsche's attention a decade ago.
It's been an interesting journey, to say the least, coming from Australia, quite far from the likes of Le Mans and WEC and everything like that. but nevertheless, it's been a phenomenal ride ever since going through the Klara Cup in Australia. Obviously joining Porsche, going to the shootout, becoming a junior, and then moving up through the ranks. And now we're finally at the peak of the Porsche pyramid with the 963, and it's phenomenal to think I'm in this position now, 10 years after starting my career with Porsche in one-make racing.
Driving alongside Fred Makowiecki and Michael Christensen, the luck hasn't always fallen for the number 5 team this season, and it's the sister car that leads the standings. But Campbell is regarded as one of Porsche's most reliable performers.
Hard to look at yourself and always say where your maybe strengths and weaknesses are, but I would say a really strong point last year was probably the consistency throughout the season. I was really happy with my performances throughout the year, and obviously now transitioning across to WEC, I think also this has been shown a little bit as well. We've always been really, really fast in our car. We've just never unfortunately got the results we've necessarily wanted. The sister car's up there leading the championship at the moment, so we just need to get a little bit of luck on our side, and hopefully then the results will start to come.
Campbell has already enjoyed some great endurance victories in his Porsche career. Now in the cockpit of the 963, he's hoping to add to that record.
To be able to be racing the works car for the full season in the top tier program, it's a real feeling and something I'd always aimed for, but never quite been in a full season as a works driver in a works car. So now to be finally in this position, racing such championships as IMSA and the WEC, it's a dream come true, and really where I want to end up in my career, and hopefully I can be here for many years to come now.
Next time, we go behind the scenes at Petit Le Mans and look at Formula One in the USA. See you then on Mobil One The Grid.